And welcome to another show of Don't Get This Twisted. I am Rob, along with my co-host, as always, Tina. How you doing, Tina?
Well, I'm not dead, Rob.
That's a plus.
The freaking flu kicked my ass this week. I sound like a 90-year-old woman more than anything, though I feel like when it raped my energy. And I'm just trying to stay afloat right now. But other than that, I'm on the mend.
Well, I had the vid, which is a little bit stronger case of what you probably had. And I get it. The first couple of days were like a punch in the face. It was pretty bad. But then, it went away and I did all right. So I'm glad to see that you're up and running at least.
Well, I am too. I've been sleeping about 22 hours a day and not eating. And I think I've kind of freaked everybody out. They were like, do we take her to the hospital? Do we bury her in the backyard? What are we going to do here?
and here's the funny thing. Like, you had it different than me because I had no problem eating. Like, I was still very, very hungry. So I was eating things that you would think on the flu you shouldn't. Like, I think the third day I was like, I went and got a pizza. Like, I was good. It was just the chest and congestion that were so bad.
I have no congestion, which is
so
weird.
Lucky.
But it's in my chest, and I can't even watch a commercial of food right now.
Right. That's horrible. It was funny because the first time I had it, I was horrible. And it was, without getting too bad, it was just nothing stayed in me. Whether it was COVID. It was COVID. It was bad.
It was COVID.
But anyway, I'm glad to see that you're up and running and you are somewhat on the mend to being healthy.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's probably going to take probably I'm glad. Do you have the cough or no?
Mm-mm. Well, when I smoke weed, I cough and that's about it. But I haven't, I'm sick when I haven't even gone outside to smoke a little bit. And it's been about 5 days.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I did this morning just because my stomach is so nauseous. I got to be able to make it through the show. That normally calms everything down. Hopefully it works.
Groovy.
So other than a little smoker's cough. I sound like my mom. It really kind of freaks me out. She was a smoker and I'm noticing she is coming out of my mouth. I'm just hearing her and it's kind of haunting.
I've still had a cough for a month. Still won't go away.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I got one shot. And ever since I got that one shot, I have been sick 3 major times where it's taken a block of my life each time from anywhere from 7 to 10 days. And I never got sick. The last time I had a flu was probably 10 years before that. So I'm really wondering what they did to my body because of that stupid shot. Boy. And I know this is another show, but that's really been on my mind because something in me always said, don't do it. And when I have that, I never, ever go against it. But my father was on my ass and whatever.
Another show.
I think that was a mistake.
Maybe we'll do a little more research and actually do a real show on that without pissing off everyone because we probably will.
I don't care.
I wanted to do a show since again this is the love month and this will be coming out the week before Valentine's Day. The week before because we'll have a show drop the day after Valentine's. I didn't want to do this one after.
Got it.
But I my whole thing was what does Valentine's Day mean anymore? I have my own thing. How I feel. I threw it out to a bunch of my female friends because I wanted to see their side because I think men, and I don't want to say that it doesn't mean anything, but I think they see it for what it is. And it's more of a Hallmark holiday and that if you don't step up and do something, you're just a fucking asshole and such. And I thought, man, that is so garbage. But I'm also a hopeless romantic. So I think, I also think it's a Hallmark holiday, but I think that if you want to show love, show it all year round. And I'm going to look at my phone here because I have to find out where these people, I should have copied it.
And what their marital status is. I think that's going to change the way people see Valentine's Day also.
Probably. So this person that I'm about to say is in a relationship. I want to say, I wouldn't say it's a long distance, but they do live far apart for now. I think they're going to try to solve that problem. This is what she said. It says, I think every day should be a day for your person to show you and tell you that they love you and how they feel about you. Valentine's Day is an excuse to get gifts and go out on a date to show the world that you aren't alone. I didn't see that one coming. I was like, oh shit, the end, mostly the end. I was like, oh, it's just a day. It is a day to receive gifts, and I get it. And there's nothing wrong with it.
So nothing in that was about love. Okay, what's the next one?
So, no, I think so. No, she said every day you should show love. Kind of like what I think. And I kind of agree with that. It should be, you know, my thing is this. My friend down the street said something that obviously happened to her in the past. She kind of said the same thing. She goes, look, it's a Hallmark holiday and it's nonsense. But if you're going to do it, make it mean something personal. So I think someone in her past, she goes, or she saw it firsthand. She goes, there's nothing worse than them going and picking up flowers out of the market on the way home because they think they have to. And I was like, yeah, I kind of get that. She goes, there's nothing worse than going to the market on Valentine's Day to pick up something and then seeing 12 guys looking in the flower department because they didn't plan it out or they didn't think about it. They're doing it because they know they have to. And I was like, yeah, that is kind of it, because there is something more about that. And I was like, yeah, I kind of, I mean, I do agree with that. To me, personal stuff is way better. Write a poem, do this, make dinner. Because I'm going to bring some statistics here that are outrageously crazy to me. Some are really good. So before we get too knee deep, what is your view of Valentine's Day?
I like Valentine's Day because it is a day where it's already carved out for you if you want to do something fun or silly or, you know, whatever it is, you have, it's already on the calendar. You know what I mean? It's just, yes, it could be very pretentious, like people. I don't think you do it because you want to show everybody that, you know, somebody loves you. That's kind of weird. And if you feel like that, you need to work on that. But to me, I feel like for men, it's become such a thorn in their side that they've kind of lost the fun in wanting to love and show love to women. And I think, again, women have done it to men because they're so ungrateful and they don't know how to talk to their man and say what they need so that the man has a clear picture of what it is that you expect from him. And so we've gotten into kind of a rat race with it. Yeah.
Men have become jaded because they feel, I think there's so much pressure as well. And even though it's a quote unquote holiday for both, I think men
by far have to take it in the ass.
Take the brunt, the big brunt.
Because women now with women's lib, they do everything. So what are you doing for me? Like that's exactly the attitude. And I think that that's the problem with us across the board as women with our mates is that, you know, if you don't stroke their ego, they're not going to want to get you flowers. So yeah, you're going to be getting them in a, you know, from a a little refrigerated area in a grocery store. Like he's not, love is such an intimate thing, and you should be so close and work on that closeness so much, like hearing each other and trying to understand and not having a reaction when they are trying to tell you something. Because I think that's why most men lie. They lie because women don't want to hear the truth. And they got one of two options: tell the truth or lie. It's easier to, what's going to be the less issue here. So I've watched people with Valentine's Day, and it makes me kind of sad because it doesn't seem like it's sincere. And I think that if you're going to celebrate Valentine's Day, be sincere. Or maybe those flowers from the store are sincere. Let's talk about that too.
No, that could be true. Here's another one for you that another friend sent me. It says it's semi-important. I think it's more important for women than it is for men, only because I feel women are more prone to show their love and affection throughout the year, unlike men, who are usually more prone to do it on designated days. But I also feel it's been turned into a Hallmark holiday, a show. My best Valentines would cost little or no money. Which I think goes back to what I'm trying to say, that, write a poem, leave a note in the car. Mostly if it's on a weekday, leave something behind. So if you go to work first, leave a note in the car saying, hey, I'm thinking about you. Can't wait to do dinner later, whatever it is for you, whatever tickles your pickle. I think there's a lot to that. And I think you need to know your significant other. I think there's a lot to that too, because
knowing their love language, how they need to see and hear it. Yeah.
You hit that on the head. That was my friend down the street said that exact same thing. It's all about love language. Because if you're a person who is, that wants, or your love language is being touched, that should be your gift to them. And if theirs is taking care of something, come home and clean the house for her. Get it all set up so she doesn't have to come home and feel. Those are bigger gifts long run. And
it doesn't have to be do everything. Just do a few things, or while you're having to clean the house, if she's there with you, like dance with her in the kitchen. Just like we're so caught up in who's right and who's wrong that we forgot that there's a delicate dance that needs to happen in a relationship, and nobody's dancing anymore. There's an ebb and a flow to this. It's not a black or white situation. So I don't know. I just have different opinions on that, but I do like to get the cheesy stuff on Valentine's Day, and I like to go see a movie or have a picnic. Like, who doesn't like to do that?
I think that's the thing. Like, I gotta find a post that I put on. And you're talking, it was kind of what you just said. I posted something the other day that I thought was because I just got Chinese food for dinner. What is that noise? It's a stupid thing. I'm trying to look on my Instagram, but clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, here we go. Life needs more slow dances in the kitchen. And I think that it does. That there is something to that look, find a mate that you want to spend time with. But not just that, someone that if someone is doing something and you are busy, like cooking in the kitchen, it's okay to come down, turn the heat down a little bit, have a little slow dance. Find someone who's okay with not going, I'm cooking right now, and going, hold on, turn that little heat down, make a little better heat, and then go back to cooking. Or come behind your mate and put your arms around her and, kiss her on the neck and say, thanks for everything. Because sometimes those are the bigger gifts. Look, that makes Valentine's Day every day. Exactly. And there's more, I want to say points earned, but that's not what I mean. But you get kudos. There's more kudos in that. And like I'm a big person about sending flowers when you shouldn't, or they don't expect it. When you send flowers, on a Thursday in June for no reason, and the whole office or wherever you work is running up going, why'd you get those? Is there a reason?
Did he cheat on you?
Or yeah, I mean, let's hope that that's not it, but those things are what
I work in a
something.
salon. I've heard that before.
Yeah. But see, that's sad too. Shouldn't it be like, no, he just gives a fuck. Maybe he just wants to remind somebody that you mean a shit ton. And again, like, I get it. Yeah. There's both sides to everything. But I think but that's the other problem. So let's say that from a man standpoint, I hope that that's all they hear is, damn, I wish I had someone like that. I wish I got flowers, because that means more, or they're wondering why. And that's the bigger thing. I don't know. I think that's what's hurting both sides of this.
I remember one girl, she'd always get some really beautiful arrangements, big ass arrangements. Mm-hmm. And one day I went up to her and I said, I love that he loves you that much. And she looked at me like she didn't know how to take that. She goes, that was the most sincere thing anybody's ever said, because it seems like everybody's jealous when I get flowers like that. And I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, I hope you blow him tonight. That's what I say.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm rooting for you. I don't want you to not make it. Have fun.
I want someone that, and again, I've blown up people's offices before. Like I've sent some shit that made people go, oh, but it also made her go, oh, and like, yeah, there's nothing from me. And again, I'm sort of a hopeless romantic. So like, but there's nothing better than later on that day, them sending you a picture of the flowers on the desk, because you know that you've made an impression. And I like that. You're like, oh, cool. Or them keeping a flower long after that arrangement is dead, but there's still that flower hanging by. That's cool shit.
Yeah.
So
I'm a fan of little. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
No, go. You're
I'm
a
fan of little.
Ooh, flan.
Flan. Never mind. Nothing sounds good right now. I'm a fan of little like not letters, but letters would be awesome, because I haven't seen one of those in 100 years. But like little Post-it notes. Mm-hmm. I love Post-it notes that says like, miss your face, or be ready when I get home, or.
See, I'm a total sap for that. I have sent letters, and I mean good ones, long letters.
I know.
Long letters. I have sent long letters, and I've sent long letters in the last couple of years. So I like to remind people, and it can get you in a lot of trouble for doing that, because some people are just like, fuck, okay, enough. But I like to remind people of that, or I write down a lot of stuff. I mean, those who don't know, I'm a big poem person, and
he's cheesy too.
So
he loves the sappy stuff.
Yeah, I'm sappy as shit. I mean, I wrote. Fuck, I don't even know how many books I've wrote now. So I
love it though.
5, I think 4 or 5. I decided I'm going to write another one. So
I've been waiting for you to say that.
I am decided. I mean, I'm sure it'll be mushy and lovey, but it'll also be a little more emotional. After the death of my mom, I decided I'm going to do this, and I already have a title. So,
you going to do one to your mom?
I don't know about to mom, but there will be things, I think, in there
that you dedicated to her.
That mom has kind of taught me, because my mom was really big on. I would talk to her about my love life, and certain people that were in it for quite a while. And I'm really kind of down that one person didn't get to meet her, because they're very much alike, very outspoken, and just, very, very much. I'm like
sad
my mom.
I didn't get to meet her.
Yeah. Oh, you would have loved her too. You guys have a very similar personality as well. Just my mom was kind of strong-willed and would just say whatever the fuck she wanted. So
love that.
And people like her would always do well around her, and you would have done well. My friend down the street would have done well. They're very much reminded me of that. And we do say that, sometimes you go for the people.
You got a type?
Well, or some people you go for people that are like your parents, and that's very true. So
I did.
Here's a few statistics because we love stats. Ooh, excuse me. This is on a site called Gift Rabbit, which I just looked up statistics. So men spent nearly twice as much, $235, as women, $119 on Valentine's Day in 2022. So about $120 more we men spend. Online dating activity in the U.S. increases by 33% between February 1st and 14th.
Really?
Yeah. I guess people trying to get dates. I don't think I would go on a first date on the 14th. I think
that's a lot of weight on.
I would never.
First
that
date.
Is insanity. Sanity.
Yeah.
No. But I can understand like trying to get a date early in the month, maybe to celebrate. But even that to me is a lot of, I wouldn't take a first date.
Too much.
Yeah. That's too early. I mean, I think you should say, oh, have a good Valentine's Day if you're dating someone, but you shouldn't at all fucking go out with them. That's crazy. That's to me, that's just setting something way too high for me.
Could be.
58% of Americans claim that romantic gestures are important now, are more important now than they were before the pandemic.
Yeah. Well, because I think we're all coming out of this thinking we need to be a lot more grateful for what we have.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think that because of not being able to see people, let's say you were dating and not in the same living situation, where you either had to really kind of sneak away and make a day because people were afraid of getting sick or this or whatever. The romantic gestures were probably few and far between over that 2 years. So maybe not, like I said, within couples that didn't live together. Obviously within living together, I think that also probably changed because the dynamic of your kids not going to school, you being stuck in the house together all the time, it was probably the last thing on your mind was to have a romantic gesture. You were more worried about getting through the day without, putting a rope around your neck. Thankfully, I was gone every day. So I'm lucky. I'm kind of one of those weird cases that I worked throughout the whole pandemic, so I didn't have to worry. Let's see. Let's see if there's anything else on here. On average, 6 million couples get engaged on the 14th. Never. I would never, ever, never. No holidays. I would never get engaged on a holiday. You are going to wreck shit for the rest of your life. Mostly Valentine's Day. Because if that shit ever comes up with a new mate, you're like, oh, my anniversary's on Valentine's Day. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, no.
Really? Are we still caring about shit like that, though?
Some people do, of course. I mean, come on.
I don't have time for that. Right, I really don't.
But I think you're a different breed. So like there's going to be the fringe, right? You're on the fringe of like, oh, really? But I think the majority of people probably do give a shit about that kind of stuff. I'm just going on and again, there's no statistic for that, but I'm just guessing.
Coming out of the divorce, I'm thinking to myself, how do I not put old shit in a new relationship? And I'm working on that because I don't want to carry on old shit that didn't work from the get. So to me, I'm really trying to be mindful of that. And I'm working on that so that I don't have all those problems.
Oh, I just said that to somebody not too long ago. I said, the past is the past is the past. Mm-hmm. And I think it came out of like, things happen between people regardless. And how that starts, ends, or starts up again is irrelevant. Mm-hmm. If something happened in the past between you two, it's the past. If you're going to have a future, you have to bury some of the past and know that there were mistakes made. So my thing is just that. And I think, and let's go back to Valentine's Day. If you've had a bad Valentine's Day with your mate in the past,
it's over.
It's over.
Get over
it's
it.
one thing. And then let's say the next one's coming and he makes it up, or you guys have a great time together. Bury that other fucking day. It happens.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody's so caught up in being right and wrong that nobody's really like wanting to work with each other. It's like,
sure.
Be perfect. Be perfect or you're wrong. Be perfect. You're wrong.
And
you're
we
wrong.
both know there is no perfect. Ever.
No.
And we're all...
Trust me, I tried. I would have found it by now to make everybody happy to shut them the fuck up. So it's not going to happen.
I know I've said it on the show before, but I'm not sure how long ago. But we're all broken. And people think that being broken is like that you're just broken forever. No, we just got cracks in our shit. And we put a little crazy glue on to keep going.
Cracks in our shit.
You know what I mean, though? Like,
yes.
My thing is just that, though. Like, no one's totally broken, because you have to rise up. So those are types of things where I think that if you're looking back on old Valentine's days or old people from Valentine's Day, if you're blaming your current mate on some shit someone else did 10 years ago, you need to stop. You need to understand. Or if your new mate isn't doing what they did and you liked their shit better, stop.
Yep.
There's a
I
reason
agree with
you're
that
not,
too.
There's a reason you're not with them. Like, it's okay. Find a bridge between expectation and reality, because it's there. It's somewhere in between. If you're wanting something for Valentine's Day or wanting something in your relationship, you have to be able to say, hey, this is what I expect. And then you both needs to step up and find out what reality is going to be. Like, reality for Valentine's Day generally is you're going to get some roses and let's hope we can go out to dinner.
Let's hope we don't start fighting before we get to the car.
The expectation is like, pick me up in a fast car and have fucking roses sent here. Everyone's doing it. It's like, look, that's not reality. Reality is somewhere in between that expectation and reality. Both of you need to find somewhere in the middle. And I think it's there. It all matters what your expectation is. So here's a couple of other silly fucking statistics for this crazy. Valentine's Day began in ancient Rome. It was a fertility festival. Not a shock. What do you know? Let's see how many people we can get to bang and have more kids. The city with the most expensive Valentine's Day budget is Los Angeles, California, at an average of $1,300.
Wait, what?
That is the most expensive Valentine's Day budget. Average is $1,300 in the city of Los Angeles. That's what people are spending for one day.
I've never had a $1,300 Valentine's
dinner,
Day in my
gift,
life.
Flowers, everything. Let's just say that's crazy. That's fucking absurd.
I think that's wrong.
Valentine's Day is one of the busiest days for restaurants, second only to Mother's Day.
Yeah. And flower shops too. Same thing.
I'm sure it's on this somewhere, but let me tell you, like, I don't know if you've ever tried to really go out on Mother's Day.
It's horrible.
Insane. And Valentine's Day, I've done it, but we thankfully, when I was married, we would do things on the off days and celebrate Valentine's Day because it's least expensive and you could go and get the dinner you really wanted.
Yep.
Let's see. American households spend $751 million on gifts for their pets on Valentine's Day. God,
bejeebus.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but my dog's not getting one this year. Chocolate sales represent 75% or more of the Valentine's Day purchases.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. A dozen red roses cost on an average of $98. But you can get them the day after for about $60 for all the men out there. It's nonsense. Teachers receive the most Valentine's cards, followed by children, mothers, and wives. That should tell you something about guys like this. We don't get them.
I'm sorry.
Just a fact. No, I mean, I get it. It's just a fact, though, that, it's generally going to be for you guys, which is okay. And the first Valentine's cards were mass produced in the United States in 1847. So we've been doing this a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Look, Valentine's Day isn't going to go away, right? And it shouldn't. And I'm okay with that. But I think it needs to be looked at in depth for not hurting relationships going forward. Because I think it's a damaging day for a lot of, it's like Christmas in a way, where if you're expecting a huge gift on Christmas and you don't get it, people lose their shit because it's a status point, right? And maybe for women more than men, like I didn't get flowers at work on Valentine's Day, but I wasn't expecting them either. So, and truly, I wasn't expecting any gifts when I was married. I was like, if we get something, whatever, give me a card. Because I think but she knew kind of how I felt about it. Like she knew that it wasn't an important day. And my ex-wife wasn't, it wasn't high on her thing either. Like we would exchange gifts, but it was never like massive gifts. We did those because she was big on Christmas. So most of the things that we did are Christmas or birthday, which I think is healthy in a relationship. But, the expectation I think is so big that it could be hurtful long run for a lot of people. Because
But if that's hurtful, I think people need to really start working on their relationships. Like Valentine's Day shouldn't mean shit if you're in a real relationship.
I love that idea.
Like, a sticky note goes a long way. I think what women are saying is that they don't feel gratitude for what they do for everybody. Like nobody shows gratitude as you being the mom. You're just the one that's expected to do everything. So I think that that's what women were trying to say is, hey, it would be nice if one day you took care of me instead of me taking care of you and 6 little kids. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think that's where it started. So men do need to show that to women, and women need to not be such bitches and say, well, you're expected to do that. Not, you did that because you're my husband and you want to make sure I'm taken care of. Like we need to start bending in order for our mates to be able to keep up with us. We can't always make them wrong. We just can't.
Correct.
So that's to me one part. And 2 is like, if you don't find the fun in being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and leaving love notes and making breakfast on a Sunday or bending her over the kitchen counter when she needs it or putting some gas in her car, or better yet, what about you put gas in his car? Like, when was the last time somebody got out of the car when it was raining for him and got gas? I'm not saying you need to do that, but you could do it when it's not raining.
Right. I agree with you. I think that you have to You have to bend at the knee to do things that are important other than a Valentine's Day.
You need to love each other enough to hear each other, not to respond to each other, but to hear each other. And when that starts happening, it seems like Valentine's Day starts to become fun. Or in those little games that you could get to date your mate, like they sound like such a blast. Like
the dice, the dice that
Don't
make
we
you
have
do
enough
dirty shit.
Yeah. Or those games where it's like a date and you have to scratch her and you have to scratch it off and it's like a whole day date. Like you may go to one restaurant for an appetizer, one for lunch, one for dessert.
I saw it. It's
one
like a
for
book.
Coffee.
It's like a book. Like it's a different day. I saw one where when you scratched it, you had to order in different languages. Or like different accents.
With different accents.
I was like, that's brutal. I love that. For me, it's great because I can do accents. So.
But awesome. I was thinking, like, when did we lose the ability to have fun with somebody that's sitting right next to us? Like, I remember when I had friends that couldn't come over and I was sitting there fucking bored. I was lonely. Right. And when they come over, I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's have some fun. Like, you got somebody that's sitting with you right there. Have fun. Quit saying no all the time. Throw your hair up. Go have some fun.
That is... I think the top
make him want to bring you flowers.
Exactly. Or be, I like what you just said about being in front of somebody. There's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than wanting to be in front of somebody because they make you feel a certain way.
Yeah. If you don't feel like that, sure as hell shouldn't marry them.
Well, you should ask yourself why you don't feel that way around them.
Oh, there's that too.
Because I've been in relationships in the past that weren't, and I don't want to, I hate to shit on them and say that they didn't give me that feeling, but maybe not as intensely. That's the better way of putting it. I've also been in front of somebody where no matter what, I had butterflies. And it was every time I saw them. And that's a crazy thing to have. That also can get you in a lot of trouble, though, because you, and I hate to say that you become, it's like overly, intense about it, but sometimes you can't help yourself. The butterflies are too much. And there was I would say two people in my life that I've ever had that. One was at 18. That girl gave me no matter what. And I saw her 20 years later and had flickers. So there was something about her. And then there was somebody else in my life that I couldn't, no matter what. Every time I see her, she gives me butterflies, which is, sometimes you have to step back for a second and go, okay, act normal. So, those are things that I think that you want to find in a mate. And when you find that, you have to make sure you tell them or show them whatever it is daily and not worry about Valentine's Day. Celebrate it. I'm okay with celebrating it. But I think that it needs to be toned down a hair.
And it should be sincere. It really should. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be forcing somebody to do something for you because you think everybody else needs to see that in order to validate your worth. Like, if you're doing it for that reason, you need to let him get out of line at the grocery store and come home because he ain't feeling it.
So she ain't feeling it. Here's kind of this is for men. And look, we're not good at some of this stuff sometimes. Not everyone's a poet. No. I got to throw that out there. Some guys are just guys, and it's okay. But last minute, this is what it says. Approximately 50% of Valentine's cards and gifts are purchased 6 days before the holiday. We wait. And that's a problem.
6 days, though? That's not waiting. Man, for me, that's like getting it done early.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, but like I said, I do things. If I
hate to shop.
See, I'm a person, when I go all out. So I would probably do it a month in advance, and I would make sure that it's, but I do silly shit. So, but I'm also the same person that puts the Post-it note in the car. So there's a lot to that, but I think that we are last minute. And look, that's 50% though. I bet you there's who does it 2 days before is probably super high. I would go out on a limb and say a lot of guys are doing this shit last minute. Like my friend said, they're standing looking in the refrigerator trying to find the last of the flowers because they're all fucking gone.
Right.
Or walking in, looking and saying there's nothing here to go to the next place, to go to the next place, to go to the next place. You know, thankfully, you know, we live in an online world, so flowers is easy. It just is. And I don't know if, I haven't ordered flowers for somebody in quite a long time, but I'll tell you that it's easy. You can go online, pick everything, a note, you write your own note, and you pick the day you want them to be there. It's easy. It really is. So guys, if you don't want to do this on Valentine's Day, don't, but just do it out on a whim. And I guarantee you're going to make someone's day. It doesn't have to be. And again, if you want to do it, I'm one to say, look, go. And I would never encourage anyone to steal flowers from anyone's yard.
Go pick some neighbors' flowers.
but go and steal a flower. One flower goes a long way, because to me, it shows you gave a shit and that you carved the horns and spikies off of it yourself. There's a lot to that. And Valentine's Day to me is just that. I hope I am with somebody who appreciates the one flower and a note and a kiss before work and whatever we do at night. If I cook dinner, we go somewhere, whatever that is, that they appreciate the small things throughout the whole year, and you celebrate all of those on that day. Because that's what it should be about to me. It should be about all these small little things that you've done for each other throughout the year, and you're celebrating it on that day, saying, hey, our love means way more than a Hallmark holiday. It means the 364 days that we've been together and that you appreciate each other all those days.
You know, I liked to play this game with myself and say, what am I grateful for with this person, like before the holiday? So I got to check on where, not necessarily where my emotions were, but like where reality was. Because I've been told that I tend to be a little emotional being a woman. Shocker. So that was one thing that I did. And I realized that when you sit back and you think about, why you are grateful for that person, it tends to open up who you are to that person. Like, hopefully it allows you to be a little more vulnerable, a little more kind, a little more loving, and not so like tit for tat with a person. I think we get caught up in that.
I agree with that as well. I think that it can be one-sided, and that's okay. And I don't mean like totally one-sided, but let's say so the man is a hopeless romantic like that, and he's the one who's doing all these small things. It's okay for the woman in that relationship to do small things, but it doesn't have to be, oh, I did 80% and you only did 20. No, that's just who they are as humans. It's okay to do that, because I'm sure the person who's doing the 80%, as long as you have open communication skills with each other, understand that he's just a crazy person who loves to do this shit. and you have to take it for what it is. And the person who's doing the 80% understands that the woman that he's doing that for he appreciates her, whatever she's doing. Sometimes that's just the way it is. And you're right. It shouldn't be like, well, I did this, so he should do this, or she did this, so I should have to do that. No, just be who you are. And again, go back to show number,
do your part.
Go back to show number 3 of love languages and realize that we all are looking for something in a relationship, and we all have these little points that we want. It's like, I'm I don't have to go out all the time. I could, and I'm okay with doing that. But I would like my mate to sit on the couch with me and watch TV every blue moon. And I'm okay with that. And I probably am going to get my fulfillment of that relationship fuel tank. It's going to hit bing. And if they're into whatever their love language is and I'm hitting those, it's filling her tank or filling her cup. And the cup never runneth over. You can't put enough in it. So
that's true.
If you're and if you are doing too much and maybe you are a little intense, it's okay to hear that from your mate and dial it down. But it's hard for some people who are givers.
Yeah.
People who are givers, it's hard. It really is. It's really hard when you're that way.
I never thought about that, but I've watched you love people. And for me, that would be so overwhelming. I'd be like, stop, just stop it.
And I've had people say that to me.
I've never looked at it from your side, that it would be hard to stop that. I'm going to have to think about that.
Yeah, because it's a character trait.
Yeah. It's
a character trait. Sometimes it's bad, though. Like if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, if you're doing it for fear of loss, that's a problem. Yeah. You shouldn't be doing this because you're trying to show you're better than whatever. You should be doing it because that's just who you are. And it's okay for that mate to come to you and say, look, you got to tone it down. But I think you should also be able to go to him and say, you understand this is who well, not that you can't, but this is who I am. And it's hard for me not to want to show this.
Yes.
So, and if you're in a relationship where you're not living together, and you're trying to show these things from far away, or that you have different kinds of, time periods of seeing each other where, you're at work all the time and you're doing this and you're doing this and you have kids and I don't, or whatever the relationship thing is that you're trying to show this, or like a reminder, like, hey, I just want to tell you that I'm thinking about you today. It's hard for some people to understand that it's like you're really just trying to show that you love them, and I know it can come off heavy, but try to understand that it's not in a hurtful way. It's just who they are as a human.
So I wrote this down recently, and I'm finding as I'm talking to people, this is more and more true than, or it really does fit a lot of people going through whatever they're going through. Mm-hmm. And it's a question. It says, did you know someone will love you even when you do nothing for them?
Yeah. Fuck.
Something to think about.
That's an intensely true statement. Mm-hmm. So, because no matter what, some people aren't looking for you to do something for them. They're looking for you to fill a void. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that void is just who they are. So, and I think people need to understand that about themselves. Sometimes we look at ourselves negatively, that, maybe you're not good enough for someone, or you're not doing this enough for someone, when that person is doing enough and they're feeling something that you just don't understand in their head what you're doing to them or for them. So I think that's something that you should think about. But that question is absolutely true. I would say 1,000%.
Yeah. I see women really go out of their way to try to help the guy so that, to prove that she's the ride or die, which I hate that. It's so ghetto, or to think that they're worthy. There's nothing. You shouldn't have to do anything. You should just, be there. Mm-hmm. And, you don't have to go out of your way. You don't have to step out. You just need to be you. Be a good version of you.
Yes. I be there for whatever that individual needs. So sometimes it's just a voice. Sometimes it's a hug. Sometimes it's a day walking in the sand. Whatever that is, be there for them. I think the long run of your relationship will be there. It's not, relationships can be ultra complicated and they can be ultra simple. Men are simple creatures, generally speaking. Women, generally speaking, to me, are not. And that's not a knock. That's just how
it's true, Rob. It's true.
You're way more complicated. You're way more emotional, generally. So when you mix someone who maybe is a man who's more emotional with a woman who's not, they get that view where there's like, oh my goodness. And I think that, we have to look at each other for who we are and realize that, look, opposites do attract. And I hate when people say that that's not true.
They attract. They do.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
And you can make those work within the things that make you happy. Look, Valentine's Day is a day of love, and you need to love the people you love and realize that it means everything to the individual people for whatever you're filling that place in their heart. I look at the heart like a puzzle. You have to fill a lot of the pieces yourself. But that one person can...
You should really try to fill all the pieces yourself.
Well, for sure. But what I'm saying is that some person can fill a piece.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
So, and I don't think anyone should fill the whole heart ever. Another person shouldn't be everything, ever. But I think that they should be a piece that maybe fills and conquers that heart, that can make someone go either way, where it just makes your day better. And it's hard, but Valentine's Day to me should be a 364-day celebration. That's how I look at it. And I think that if more people looked at it that way, it would be a much better celebrated holiday for men to their woman. So she would probably get more out of it when she realizes that he's showing every day of the year in that one day. That's my last word.
That's cool.
I don't want to say anything else other than that. I think that's what it is. So, anything else from you, from the Peanut Gallery?
Just remember that no matter what you get, no matter what you give, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, that's the person that says they love you every day. So treat them kindly, love on them passionately, and quit being such freaking assholes. It's not that bad.
Sweet. And read that question one more time.
Did you know someone will love you even when you do nothing for them?
Perfect. I think we should go out with that. Hey, we have social medias. It'll be getting updated a little bit more here soon once I do more things. So you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for now. YouTube, hopefully soon once I get my ass in gear. And you can check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, pretty much anywhere that you can hear podcasts. We're out and about. We had a great month last month. It was our best ever. Thank you guys so much. And to the new listeners who are catching up on everything, it's awesome. For the people who are just getting in and hearing us for the first time, it's going to be another wild ride. We got lots of things coming, lots of things, and interviews. We're going to have some interesting people on talking about like important things in life as well, like buying houses and stuff like that.
Got a lot of good feedback on the last show with unusual places to have sex. We need to do some more. I find that as time goes on, I'm a little more open. So a couple of my friends heard a couple of the stories that knew that were mine and was like, I didn't know what you were going to say. So actually they're egging me on to tell more stories. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, and this is an opinion show, so don't get it twisted. Keep coming back every Wednesday. We're going to have more love and sex for the rest of this month, and then kick off March with, a leprechaun celebration or something like that. All right, teens, until next Wednesday, it's always fun.
Have a good one. Bye.